It ain't real. I prove to you it ain't real. Ain't nobody found X. Only X they know about is ex-girlfriend and ex-wives. That's the only X they know about. But we're going to tell you, we're going to find X. X ain't preachers, it hates people. Everybody. How in the world are you going to say it's racist? But white people flunk it too. In fact, when I was in school, I know more white people to fail it than I did blacks. Why was that? Because we never could find X, I'm telling you. I looked from the trash can, I looked for him in the dumpster. I looked in a couple places, I knew X had to be there. I still ain't found it. But these are the things that we can't control, but this is something we can control. I can't control what's going on out there. I can control what's going on in here. And that's what Jose's trying to get you to see. Sow to yourself in righteousness, right things. Begin to reap mercy. Then you get a chance to break up that fallow ground. Get that hard dirt all softened up. When rain hits it, it just don't run off. Rain penetrates it. The seed can penetrate. And then it can germinate and then bring forth this plant. Okay? Remember, your soul. Remember when Jesus taught the parable of the sower? There's 4 types of soil, 4 types of heart. Be the one that the Word of God can penetrate. The one that brings forth the fruit of the Spirit we find in Galatians 5. But you can't fix that. But you know what? You can fix you. So don't turn around and say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. You're right. There's nothing we can do about it out there. But you know what we can do for our country? We can do something in here. What did it say about David after he had served his own generation? David served God for his generation. We need some of those people today. I'm just going to serve God for my generation. I want to be one of the 10 in Sodom and Gomorrah that God can count on. That's the thought we need. I want to be one of the 10. Now what he says, for it's time to seek the Lord till he come and rain righteousness upon you. It's time to seek God now. Don't wait. Because you know what we do? We're all sort of good procrastinators, aren't we? Sometimes we'll procrastinate more than it would take to actually do the job. Why? We're human. If it's something we're not 100% sure on, we like to procrastinate a little bit. Why? Because the rapture happens, I don't have food with them. I mean, it's just part of life. We just don't want to. But you know what? It's time for the real Christians in America to stand up. It's time for the real Christians in America to make a difference. It's time for the real Christian in America to say, you know what? As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. I don't care what y'all do. I can't stop the shootings in Chicago, Atlanta, Detroit, St. Louis, Baltimore, Ferguson, Shreveport, New Orleans. I can't stop drive-by shootings there. Somebody made this statement the other day, said, if black lives really matter, name me one white neighborhood that had 104 shootings over Father's Day weekend. It don't have to be in the United States. It can be anywhere. No, can't, can you? Because it's not there. One of them missed dad and shot a child in the back seat. One report said the child was 3 years old. Does that make any sense? If I'm mad at you, I'm coming after you. You can ask my wife. If I'm mad at you, you won't have to ask nobody. I had a headache one day and it came in. I was all good to keep throwing up. And I walked in the pulpit, preached, and went right back out and left. Somebody stopped my wife and said, "Is the preacher mad at me?" She said, "No, he's got a headache. He's trying to keep him throwing up. He's going home right now." But she said, "I'll tell you this, if the preacher's mad at you, he'll be the first one to tell you. You won't have to wait." Her exact words was, "Did he tell you off? Then he ain't mad at you." mean, I'm not trying to be ugly, people. If I'm mad at you, I'm not going to shoot somebody in the back seat. I'm going to get you. I may have to grab you and pull you out of that windshield, but I'm going to get you. Why would you drive by and take a chance on shooting a child? Name me what realm that makes sense. It doesn't. But we can fix us. It's time. Now's the time for the harvest. Now's the time for the stand. Now's the time to get right with God. And while we're thinking about the time, let me show you another Bible verse. Go to Psalm 33. We won't go back to Hosea, but I want to show you this verse. Psalm 33, look at verse number 12. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. Blessed is the name of the nation whose God is the Lord. Have you noticed in today we have referred to the word nation a lot? Proverbs says, righteousness exalteth the nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. How many times you've seen nation today? Why? God deals with nations. I understand that we can't control what goes on out there, but it's still our responsibility to stand up and speak. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Righteousness exalteth the nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The more righteous things we do, it exalts our nation before God. It's that simple. Righteousness exalteth the nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Flip back to Hosea and we'll be through in just a moment. Look what he says in verse 12. Till he come and rain righteousness upon you. Don't give up till you see results. We've come so far from God as a country, as a people. You stop and think how far from God we've become. Hollywood has started teaching it. We've embraced it. And we're embracing it every day. But God said, no, you sow good seed to righteousness. You let that seed begin to reap in mercy. You break up that fallow ground so the good seed can go deeper and do a better harvest. You do it now till God comes in on righteousness upon you. God's righteousness, his justice, his will in our life. Hosea is writing to a nation that had wandered away from God. A nation that had departed from truth. Sounds much like our country today. You stop and you think and you look at where we are compared to where we were 100 years ago. 100 years ago, how many businesses were closed on Sunday? Yep. Do you know what? How many of them are closed now on Sunday? Nope. Why? They're thinking they can make a couple more dollars. It's not about what's right with God. It's what's right with their pocketbook. And you know, it's sad, but you can say, well, all church people need to stay out of stores. But guess what? You'd never get that to happen. And you're still going to have people going in there that claim to be right with God. I'm just saying it's the Lord's Day. It's a special day. It'll be something we do. We come and we spend our time serving God. But you know what? God's given us Monday through Saturday also to serve him. Don't just come to church on Sunday to serve him. If we want these righteous blessings from God to be rained down upon us, we need to do it Sunday through Sunday. Midnight to midnight. 7 days a week. Be consistent with it. Till God begin to break and part up our heart to where new seed can be planted. People, that's the encouragement day. I can't do nothing with what's going out there. If I could, I would. You know, I'm not trying to be ugly, but I'm fixing to be ugly. I know how to deal with a brat. It's called a belt. My child was going in my room and tear up one thing that belonged to me, I'd tear up something. He wouldn't be able to sit down for a few days. Guaranteed. He'd remember me. But yet, we let him tear down stuff and we don't even slap him on the hand. Oh, we're going to arrest him. You're going to give him a citation and let him right back out on the street. Yeah, that's some justice. What about the people who have been killed in this junk? How many police officers have been injured? How many's been killed through all this? They don't even make the news anymore. But you let a protester get in their face, and their job is to cover the street, and they push the protester down, but they will sue that police department. Your job as a citizen, like cop tells you, get out of the way, is to get out of the way. His authority comes from the state. He doesn't ask, he tells. I don't think he has that right. He swore an oath that he had that right, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He has that right. The government has given them that right. And when they're taking over a street, they're taking over a street. Well, I just don't think that's right. He ain't got no business pushing that old man down. He should have got out of his way and done what he was told to do. If I'd have been there, I'd have pushed him down the same way. Preacher, that just looked bad. Yeah, but who was in the wrong? See, that's what people don't understand. Who was breaking the law? The cop wasn't. The man in front screen with the camera was the one breaking the law. Tough. He got injured. I feel sorry for him, but next time, get out of their face. People, what happened in Vietnam? We did the same thing in Vietnam. We fought a political war that we could have won, but politics wouldn't let us. Walter Cronkite in the news cost us Vietnam. Period. The news, I'm going to tell you right now, our news system has never done one thing for us as a people. They've made Christians look bad in every light they can, and they exalt the heathen as if they're the Sunday school teachers of the day. You know I'm telling the truth. So when NFL comes on, I change the channel. National League of Felons, not going to watch it. NBA, nothing but outlaws, ain't going to watch it. NASCAR, you're in the same group. You can't tell me where to spend my money. And I ain't buying your junk. So if Black Lives Matter is mentioned in it, I'm done with it. Because they're a terrorist group that we are paying to terrorize our own people. What world does that make sense? But we can sow good seed to ourselves, break up our fallow ground, sow righteousness, and wait for God to bring a harvest. That we can control.